Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Nova Rivals or Nova Tournament, whichever way or whichever type you want to call it. But today, we have Playdate number 2 for you this evening. For game number 1, I'm your only caster here, the beautiful and lovely me, Tayaki. But later in the evening, we do have Elijah and KJ that will be joining us to cast the last 3 games for this evening. Now, obviously, tonight, it's going to be a very interesting sort of night. We have a lot of different games kind of piled up that will show a bit of the experience between these sorts of teams. Now, obviously, Bandits, Tridents will be the first team up tonight. And in saying that, it's going to be one of the most amazing matches we have seen in a long time. Tridents recently have been showing us that their ability and playstyle has just been getting stronger and stronger every single game that they've played. Their strategies have started to be honed in on, and they know exactly what they need to do to find the wins in these games. Now, on the opposite end, Bandits, they are the big boys. They're one of the biggest groups of the yard, and a lot of teams have a lot of trouble trying to get through them. But then again, Trident may be the ones to introduce that upset. Now, quick look over at the map bans for this game. Obviously, with these two teams, we expect they'll kind of go for the basic sort of maps. I would also absolutely love to mention the competitive style has completely been changed. So a few new maps have been brought into play, with the Night Haven map being brought in for the side of Villa and Consulate being brought back into play for Theme Park. But as we look at the bans and the map picks, we'll see that Night Haven, Consulate, Border, and Skyscraper have all been banned by Bandits. And on the opposite end for Trident, it is going to be Clubhouse, Oregon, Border, and Skyscraper. Correction. I've lost myself. Clubhouse, Oregon, Cafe, and Banks. So the map of choice will be going over to Chalet, which is a map that both of these two teams know very well. And Bandits will be the ones looking to start it off. And they will be looking to gain the early bits of control here, having that defensive side. Chalet, known for its ability to be kind of difficult if you don't know how to play around the defensive side. But then again, a lot of teams prefer to go attack on this sort of map. It just depends on what they try to look for, how they try to approach it, and what they can kind of change. Now, in saying that, when we look at Bandits, when we look at Trident, there are a lot of players on the side of Bandits that people do need to be terrified of. Eraser coming in as one of the main men from that group, as well as Drift, JPK, Jacko, and your mum left. And on the opposite side for Trident, I mean, you've got Ajax, you've got PU, you've got Shuri, you've got Sweet. You've got Frame, you've got Taz, you've got all of those sorts of members that are coming in for the side of Trident, and they are very scary when not shut down and locked onto in the correct setup and in the correct playstyle. Now, Bandits, we've seen them hundreds of times, every game. They were one of the scariest big dogs out there. They knew what they were doing coming into it, and they knew how to play around all of their teams. But in saying that, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the amazing frozen Alps of Chalet as both of these teams get ready to take on each other. And as we know, this is an attacking sided map, so we expect a lot from Trident to start it off here. Few areas to really be shut down. Obviously, let's talk about site control. Most of the times, we see teams go straight into bar and games. That is their normal sort of site to start us off. On the opposite end, of course, we do like to see them go in a kitchen and then basement. A lot of teams have not been enjoying playing upstairs in the most recent set of days. It's just an annoying site to really operate off, and a lot of these teams do not prefer to go to it. They'd rather go to a different tertiary site. Well, in saying that, look at all the beautiful faces that we have here today from all of these teams. Down at the bottom, Shuri with the Chewbacca mask coming in as the first ban will be made. Now, things that we expect. We expect Nog to be banned off the board. We expect Flores to be banned, as well as the Solus. And also the opposite end, we also like the Fenrir to be removed as well. So, of course, the Flores is going to be the second attacking ban. But then again, you expect a Valkyrie as well. That is another good option for the side of Tridents. But the Azami will come into play. Another operator with those Keeper barricades that has been so annoying, so difficult to get around and move their opportunities around. So, final ban going to be coming in for Bandits. We expect to see, as we have seen previously, the Solus coming in as the final ban. So Fenrir will be available for these two teams as an option. And it looks like all the members on both of these teams are getting ready. Shuri even taking off the amazing mask that we saw him have on. As now we'll start to immediately get set up for this first round. Now, when we look at Bandits, we look for members like MML. We look for members like Eraser. We look for members like Jacko. All of those sorts of players to be making these stars sort of plays. And I mean, from the side of Tridents, you really expect for PU, Shuri, and Sweat to really find as much as they possibly can. But then again, when starting down in basement, it is the site that a lot of these teams have been wanting to go to recently. It is a site that they wanted to be really finding this control. And immediately we can see that Frame. He's going to be making quite a significant switch up here. He's going to be jumping on to the fuse, and that means he can look to get on top of Mezzanine and start bringing down the cluster grenades. All down all the way into the bottom site, and that will provide them with a little bit of intel. But it looks like a lot of Bandits, they're wanting to play upstairs. They're wanting to stay on this roam potential. And straight off the bat, we can start to see just a little bit of movement coming in for the side of Trident. This looks like it's going to be a bit of a mezzanine push. No one's really going to be playing out back, and a few getting set up for Library. Straight off the bat, though, Ajax, he's going to be looking at Barstock, trying to see if he can spot out possibly someone making some sort of move up into this gaming bar. But it doesn't look like it's going to be set up there just yet. JPK will be the first member to take some sort of contact, as he'll easily be able to take out the drone. And Drift, look to see if he can spot something else there as well. Nothing too significant just yet movement-wise on both of these two teams, as it looks like the Bandits are just going to delay the time just a little bit. Play it off, take as long as they need to really push members from the side of Trident to struggle making their sort of angles and making their sort of push. Shuri having to drone upstairs. They need to be clear of this player that they appear to not know that is on the roam. And they will know it now. Shuri able to spot out one. And straight off the bat, it's going to be MML looking to find as much as he can. He'll be able to find the first. That's going to be Frame taken off the board. Eraser on the opposite end, off screen, able to find Ajax. As MML, he'll look to fall back just a little bit, and that's already two members being removed off the board early. Not exactly what you want as the back and forth goes through Shuri and MML. It's going back, but that's the shotgun bailiff in hand. As Shuri gets removed, and now Trident, they're already down all four members. JPK will pick up Sweat, and it's down to PU all by himself. The Fenrir is going to give away his position, and that should just call it here. Push will come in. PU's able to find one to cut out the Flawless, but Bandits are going to clean it up early. Well, moving into round number 2, Bandits definitely well in control of what they were looking for, and I mean, that is a very scary outlook for round number 1, able to find almost all 5 members without losing a single one of theirs. 4 members by the end, 1 member unfortunately removed from the side of Bandits, and it was the side of Drift. But in saying that, now they're going up to gaming, now they're going up to the more common sites that we see. And Trident, they'll need to set themselves up for this sort of play. I mean, they definitely have the ability to just kind of cut off and stop any sort of push coming in from the side of Bandits. But it appears that even with that, Bandits can and do have the ability to take control where they need to.
5 seconds to go.
Well, for now, we'll see the last bit of preparation, last bit of setup coming in for the side of Bandits. As Trident will start making their push. 2 members are going to be pushing in from the northeastern side, trying to see if they could possibly spot out someone inside of Solarium. As Sweat will look to push with Frame and Ajax on the opposite end. As now it just looks like everything's going to be slowed down, and there we have the amazing position for a Razor to be in. Such an annoying position. If you have a player there, it is very difficult to remove them off. They can just sit there all day. They have the protection of the shield. They have the reinforcement, as the Iana clone will be removed off the board for a little bit. And once again, this player just being in this position is such a threat. You can't really make your jump in towards Library until this is completely clear. Nade will go through, but it's not able to find the player still sitting there. And now he can just play a little bit back. Sweat will look to start opening up, as the immediate cleanup will be there. Sweat's going to be able to take down MML. Razor was able to remove a lot of the hard breaching utility from Sweat, as Drift can just sit underneath waiting for the jump in to be made. JPK will find one off screen. Sweat's going to attempt once again to open up this wall,
A really big fucking
as they look to try and remove a Razor from this position, but he's not going to give away himself just yet. They'll let that be opened up. And look how much time is being wasted. 1 minute and 15 seconds. Make it 1 minute and 10. As multiple members from the side of Trident haven't even been able to get in yet. And it looks like they may just have to give up on the angle. They're already wasting so much time. 55 seconds remaining on the clock. PU is still sitting outside of Dog Kennels. He'll now make the drop towards main stairs. Frame, Sweat, you need to make the decision here, and that's just going to be where it gets costed. As Drift will be able to take down Ajax. VU is able to take down Jacko. A second will be dropped. It is the annoyance. A Razor will be removed as the pickup will be made. Safe positions for both of these two teammates, as JPK and Eraser can now regress. Another player is going to be brought down. It will be JPK, as Sweat is going to be the only member to, well, needs to be able to push into towards the side here. He's going to be dropped down. Drift will be able to spot one, and it will be Diffuser. 8 seconds remaining, shotgun in hand. And Drift is able to take down Frame. And as we see there, MML showing up for his teammate Drift, making some drifts on his mouse. As at the moment, Bandits 2-0, needing to look for a little bit more. Three rounds is what you basically look for when you're on defense here. And the scariest thing, the absolute scariest thing for Trident right now is if they cannot secure and lock down at least this site, or put a bit of fear into this site, then Bandits will just have the clean sweep. And if they go back to resetting on their next run, where they will start getting their sites unlocked once again, they can look to 6-0 this. All comes down to the way that they approach and play with these next few minutes. Well, straight off the bat, we'll start to see a bit of plays being made, as Jax will look to push towards Dog Kennels. put a bit of pressure as Drift is actually going to take a lot of damage. Almost being taken down. The Dokkaebi available there to almost clean up Drift. Start to see not too much movement inside the site. 2 members will be offside. It will be MML and Eraser as they try to look for the player sitting up the top there, but that angle, so hard to find the correct position. Ajax is going to be put down to quite a little bit of HP. Frame is still going to be sitting all the way downstairs as Jacko. He can just wait for the push to be predicted. Frame's going to try to play for some vertical. Try and see if he can spot someone coming down from Solarium. Won't be able to find anyone just yet, PU. Trying to see if he can spot someone making a little bit of movement, but there's a Razor. And Jax is going to be taken off the board. Still with their positions. At the moment, it does look like Bandits are well in control. Drift on very little HP, but it's not too big of a worry. Eraser's going to hear it getting opened up. Won't lose his life as a result. 2 members from the opposite side will be pushing for Trident. And this is where the members upstairs will need to start being a little bit careful. Eraser and MML will be the ones to kind of slow down this play. But MML's able to find PU as PU's able to find Eraser. The trade-off is there with a minute remaining on the board. Now Diffuser is going to be dropped down. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Trident to try and find these kills. Shuri needs to be able to make this push in, but immediately JPK, he started to make his push up and will find one. Not able to clear the second. Shuri's going to be traded back, but MML's there to clean it up, and the back and forths go through. It's all down to Frame. He's 1 against 2, but remember, it's Drift. He's on no HP. 30 seconds remaining on the board, and they can look to try and see if they can open anything up, but he doesn't have the hard breaching tools. And Frame now can just start making his way down from Solarium. Jacko will be expecting it. The damage is going to be dealt, and it will be there.
10 seconds left.
Nitro Cell and Impact Grenades, even a small shot,
5 seconds left. Attackers drop the diffuser.
will do it, and that is Drift to find the kill. Bandits, 3-0 so far. And as we can see, it looks like Trident, they will be calling for a timeout. They do want to take the time. Something is not going right. Something is going very, very wrong for the side of Trident. They are just not able to make these pushes direct enough. Even when they get the trades back, they're still losing it. They just don't have the members there to allow them to really make their plays. And it's so difficult. But then again, it's how it works. It's how they play. We expect these sort of play styles coming in from Bandits. They are a very aggressive squad when they need to. They will have their members able to come in and back each other up quite quickly. But the side of Tridents, they are a team of great teamwork. They have the ability to make these trades. Unfortunately, when they're making these trades, they are not able to completely clean it up enough, or to the point where Bandits actually gets on the disadvantage. It feels like every time that a little initiation and a little gunfight happens between the two, Trident always seems to come off on the worst end. Now moving in for round number 4, the switch up is going to be brought back as the sites start to be unlocked. So Bandits, they will be choosing to go back downstairs instead of playing on the upstairs master bedroom.
Activate jammer.
As we can see,
10 seconds left before insertion.
moving in for this round, multiple members from the side of Bandits. They're feeling pretty chill. They're feeling like they can take this game pretty easy. They just need to be careful because Trident now, they've had the time to talk, and Eraser, he's already taken a little bit of damage. Not the best way to start himself off, but he's going to give it. start Trident off with a bit more of an advantage as they were looking for. As the Iana clone will start droning through, trying to find out just as much information as they possibly can. And MML will be the first point of contact, but that aid, absolutely beautiful outside of the wall, will find the first kill for Trident, and I guarantee that's exactly what they were looking for. And we'll start to see Drift. He's going to play in this upstairs. We'll try and see if someone's making a push in towards bar. Maybe fall back in towards the site. So they do have this main wall open. And that will be pretty helpful for Bandits. Correction, for Trident. As now that will put a little bit of pressure for Bandits to consistently be watching some sort of push being made from that side. On the upper end, however, it all depends on the way that Trident really want to make their plays. As a Razor, he's still searching for someone making a push upstairs. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much pressure really being made, as a Razor will find the first counter pick. It will be on to Ajax. Once again, Nitro Cell in play. It's not going to be able to find anyone, as JPK will fall back in towards the site. So much time is already being wasted. 1 minute and 15 once again. And it feels like Trident still needs so much room. Still have so much room to gain. Well, Nitro Cell still being available for Drift. It looks like he'll just wait to see if they try and open up this hatch that Sweat is going to be playing on at this current time. They'll be able to get a few things open, but Diffuser is currently being dropped down. Nitro Cell still available for Drift if he chooses to try and use it, but here comes MML. He's going to be spotted. They now know that this player is on the roam. They need to find the kill on MML here to make it significant. 25 seconds remaining on the clock, and look how much time MML can just waste by sitting here. Frame is able to find a huge kill onto Drift, and that can start allowing for a bit of a push being made downstairs. But a Razor, he's just waiting for the call. MML's going to be dropped out, shotgun in hand. JPK is able to find one kill for himself onto Shuri, but the plant is going to be attempted. Almost taken out. JPK tries to find Frame. He will find it. PU will find JPK. And Trident will find their first round. Well, moving in to round number 5. Bandits 3-1 so far. And they said, listen, we're happy to lose that site. We've already won all the other sites. We'll just continue the same way that we were going. We lost that site that round. Doesn't matter. We'll go upstairs and lock down mezzanine, lock down library. And we'll play inside of gaming. Wait for you to try and make a push and see how you do there. That is the plan for Bandits and what they are thinking right now. Don't really need to play around with having to go back to the same sort of site. They can kind of take their time and wait for these pushes to be made by Trident. And it looks like once again it will be the same sort of setup. They're going to have a player sitting inside of mezzanine. Drift will be the one to put down the shield. As Trident, they will need to remove this mezzanine player. If they are not successful in removing this mezzanine player, it's just going to delay so much time once again. And we can already see a bit of a switch up coming into play. Brava is going to be brought in by Pew. As a Razor, he can just play around inside of this mezzanine. Wait for someone to make a push on this side of the map. However, it doesn't look like Trident are going to be pressuring it just yet. It looks like they're trying to figure out exactly how they want to make this push. Drift is going to be dropped down, but Ajax, he's on little HP as well. The good side of the coin is Bandits actually come away with a win in that little engagement. If Drip can be brought back up, he's actually going to have more HP than Ajax. But it all depends on whether or not they do decide to pick up their teammate. And it looks like that is going to be the play. As Jacko will look to pick it up, and JPK will be able to find one. Pew's going to be able to... Well, correction, Pew is going to be taken off the board. And so we'll start to see a bit of a slowdown. One player still going to be sitting outside of dog kennels. If Shuri can make some sort of play here, it will alleviate a lot of pressure. Drift will be taken off the board, not in a position for him to be picked back up. And Shuri makes the play that he was looking for. Finds two. And an L and a Razor taken off the board as JPK will find one back onto Sweat. And now it all comes down to the way that Trident approaches this next 60 seconds. They have the man advantage, make it the full man advantage, 2 up. As now it's all down to Jacko. But you cannot count out a man when he's got this SMG-11 available. His position will be known. The back and forth will go through. Needs to be careful about a player making a direct push in. But there comes Ajax just to find the kill. And Trident, they're starting to answer back. Small world, small rounds, small plays coming in from Trident there, which have been absolutely helping them. Shuri finally beginning to come online for his team. And we can see that, able to find 2 massive kills. The player sitting on blue stairs and the player sitting in mezzanine. That alleviated so much pressure. And it looks like Bandits are getting a little bit concerned. They maybe wanted one more round straight in this series. And you can see that from the way that they're choosing their sides now. A little bit of concern, leading them to lose a few rounds. And as a result, Bandits will choose not to go all the way upstairs, or not to go into kitchen, not to go back to bar, but they'll go back downstairs and try and see if they can secure it once again. Well, JPK, he'll be the man to try and slow down that push upstairs. Try and make it so that Trident struggle with the way that they play. Jacko, in his position, will need to be careful of a nade being used, but it looks like Frame being brought in will be able to get that wall open nice and quickly. But it does look like this will be the Bandit trick trying to come into play. The nade will also be cooked. Shuri gonna try to push the player off of the wall, but he gets it again! As once again, the member sitting on that wall is going to be taken out nice and early. And so Trident, they will be with an advantage coming into the first minute of this round. And now we'll start to see things starting to slow down just a little bit. They can now start making plays upstairs, moving their positions of their players, taking their time to put the pressure elsewhere and gain as much info as they possibly can. Still, Bandits not really showing to have the same roam presence that they did recently, as it looks like JPK will be the only member really on that roam. As the back and forth goes through, MML looking to try and see if he can find a kill, alleviate that pressure that they have already losing that member. But JPK, SMG 11. All that you need to expect from that man as he finds a double and he'll fall away. Not needing to be too worried about his position. And now can just wait for the push to come through. Nitro Cell will be in hand. And he's just going to take the time, wait for the play to be made, as now 2 members from Trident will look to make the push straight down Fireplace stairs. They'll need to clean it up as a raise is going to be taken off the board. Drift's able to find one on the PU. Or Pew. Sweat will find the kill onto a Razor, but there goes the trade back once again. Drift, he's able to find the kill. Diffuser's going to be down. Sweat will find the first onto MML, and it's down to the 2 members that have no HP. Both of them a Nitro Cell in hand. The peak will be made as the back and forth goes through. Sweat knows exactly where both of them are. Will not even find the first as JPK will confirm the kill. As we go to the halftime switch up, 4-2. Bandits still in the lead. At the halftime switch up, it just shows how well Bandits can play when they are on a map that they enjoy. Chalet definitely being one that they have played many times in the past. And this is where it will start to get interesting. Trident, known for their strategy, known for their ability to just operate around a strat book in flawless fashion. And have the ability to really work with each other. Coordination is one of their biggest things. Now, the most scary thing is going to be Bandit's ability on this map. We know their ability to push is incredibly significant. They can just run over teams if they decide to do so. And Bandits, I mean, they can just easily make that push just as simple. But it does look like we will have that mezzanine player coming in as Bandits will start to make this push towards the library side. One player is... Correction, we're not going to have a player outside of Solarium. So it looks like this push is going to be coming quite significantly in towards library. 4 players going to be set there as a Razor will be on the opposite side trying to see if he can pick up some sort of angle from the opposite end and just put a little bit of pressure on to that there. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be sitting in the mezzanine. And MML's going to immediately pick it up. Look how much ground he's already grabbing as the drones will come through. And they can look to straight get this wall opened up. Jacko just needs to make his way in, covered by the rest of his team. And they can look to open straight up in towards the site. For Trident right now, they need to be careful about these players downstairs. As JPK will find the first, Ajax is going to be removed off the board, and MML sitting there to back him up. Sweat now on the opposite side with Shuri making a long angle peek for this downstairs section. Jacko will be able to open up the main wall as he'll look to try and see if he can spot out these players all the way out the back frame. Sitting close. Will be spotted out by the drone. So we'll need to be careful about his position as the nade will come through. Will be cooked perfectly. Second nade will go out as well. But the shotgun in hand for Pew as he fumbles on the buttons. Will lose his life as well. A Razor able to find that kill from the long angle. Outside double window. As now they'll look to try and get possibly a plant down onto this main wall. One player is going to be close. It will be framed just sitting there as the flashbang will go out. He's going to run in. That's going to be the plant attempt. They need to remove this player off of this position. If he can get the plant down, it's going to be a problem. Frame playing close will get immediately caught. Drift able to find him. Jacko will get the plant down and a kill for his troubles. It's all down to Sweat and he's got to find so many. Flashbang will completely send his screen into the white. Bandits with 30 seconds as the drop will come through, but MML's just going to find the kill as he pushes from below. And Bandits are well in control of this series. Well, as you expect from Bandits, their aggression, their ability to shut down a lot of the sites, control, and make the map really small in comparison to how it actually is exactly why everyone loves this team and loves to watch this team. They are so quick and so good at just shutting it down, shutting the entire map down as much as they need to, as much as they want to. And Trident, they're starting to get extremely nervous. You can see that by the way they're playing. You can see that by the positions that they're holding. It doesn't seem to be feeling right for them. And as a result, a lot of their players kind of hold themselves back. And I mean, they didn't have a player sitting inside mezzanine. That is one of the biggest problems that was with that last round. Without that player inside mezzanine, they don't slow down the push that Bandits made. And they struggle to really find anything on those angles and those positions where they had those players. JPK just needs to find one kill downstairs. And that opens up so much, as they've already gained a complete southern side of the map in their control. And then Trident, they just don't have the ability to really shut down anything else. But once again, we're starting to see the push coming through quite quickly. They know the position of Ajax. He's got a few pieces of equipment there, but with those nades, they're slowly going to cook him out. He's able to get a heal back, as the drone will spot him once again. And so they can just re-prep. Re-prep to send another nade through, but that was both of MML's nades. So they will not be able to remove him off this angle just yet. They'll need to watch for a player making the push in from below. But MML, he's actually just going to push. Wins that engagement. Ajax is going to be dropped down. Frame as well on the opposite end will be dropped down by JPK. And so that means that they can start getting the push that they were looking for. No nitro cells available for the side of Trident. They know that a player is just going to be sitting close to that wall, as MML will push through just to try and confirm it. Two players going to be sitting downstairs, one player sitting on the blue stairs. As straight off the bat, it does look like Bandits are still well in control. Sweat will be able to find one for his look, and it will be onto Jacko. MML will make the drop down. We'll be able to spot out one's position. Multiple players from the side of Trident are just going to be sitting in their sight, hoping and praying that they can possibly find some sort of kill, some sort of pressure. They need to alleviate some of it somewhere, and it's just not working out for them now. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. As Bandits now, they can slow down the time, take as long as they need to make these pushes known. The Ana drone will also go through, and they will be able to spot out one, as another will make the push up the main stairs. Flashbangs will go in downstairs, and that will scare all of Shuri out, as JPK will be able to catch one. Drift's able to catch one, and Eraser catches the last. And as quickly as we started this game, it's almost over. Match point. Well, Bandits looking to finish it up here, looking to secure it all. As Trident will go back to the tried and tested site, hoping to gain the control that they were looking for. Hoping to play it somewhat differently. Hoping to not be caught out. And it will all come down to the position of these players. Sweat knows that by positioning his utility there, Bandits already knows where it's going to be. So it all comes down to the way that Ajax makes this play. But this is where it could all be ended. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining on the clock. MML will make his push up, using the Iana clone to get rid of the Aruni gate early, as they will be able to spot out one once again down on that close angle. The bounce is looking to be perfect. Two nades will go through. It will be beautiful, as the pickup will be made, but that's going to be Ajax straight taken off the board. And that is already a huge fault.
Attackers
Trident
recovered the
losing their
bomb.
main member inside of library. Now it all comes down to the way Pew is able to find this player up inside library. Frame's going to be taken out, and Pew's going to be taken out. Trident struggling to find anything here as Bandits gain full control of upstairs. Shuri really being the one that needs to find something, but that's MML, and that's a triple kill for his liking. Sweat the last member remaining. 5-1. As that is it. That is at the end of the series. Bandits will end it nice and clean. 6-2. Having full control. And all's well that ends well. As Bandits look to completely mop over Trident. 14 kills for JPK, an incredible player in his own regard. He deserves every single bit of it, and that is it. That is all over. Bandits, the team that everyone expected to run as quickly as they could, just had the full control that they were looking for, and I don't think there was any other way to really approach it. They played exceptionally well, and there's no other way to really look at it. And yeah, what can be said? Trident struggling out of the gate. They had a few issues here and there, and unfortunately they were not able to clean it up, especially when they got onto their defensive half. But this is a learning process. This is one of the best teams in the competition, that of Bandits, and it is very hard to make a stand, make a way around these mechanically gifted players. And I mean, you tried your best. You showed up with 2 rounds today. Maybe a bit more. Maybe that is not the place to be taking Bandits to, and that will be knowledge for the future. But ladies and gentlemen, for now, we're going to be taking a short break. We'll be back here soon for the next match, which I believe is going to be MMK SLFO, and then up against NDE. It will be a very interesting match to see how these guys play, but we're going to be taking a short break. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.